Buongiorno, buon popolo. On Monday, the Prime Minister announced a further national lockdown to prevent the spread of the new variant of the coronavirus. We are required not to leave our homes unless absolutely necessary. In the past two lockdowns, places of worship were closed, but this time we are allowed to be open for communal worship. The Bishop has informed all parishes that it is up to each individual incumbent and PCC to decide whether or not to continue holding in-person services. The Standing Committee met with the Responsible Caring Group on Wednesday evening and agreed unanimously that we should offer online and on-paper worship only for the next 7 Sundays, up to and including Sunday the 21st of February. The key reason is that the extra transmissibility of the new variant is not yet understood, and we do not know whether our current measures in church to prevent infection are safe enough. The government has indicated that by mid-February we will know whether or not the distribution of the vaccines and the new lockdown measures will have worked sufficiently well to relax the restrictions in wider society. So we will review our decision then. In the meantime, I am satisfied that our online and on-paper worship is a worthy offering and appreciated by all who receive and use them. Daily morning and evening prayer will continue to be streamed on Facebook, and on Sundays the Eucharist will be on YouTube and evening prayer on Zoom. The Vicar's weekly video message, like this one, will continue to be posted online, and everything that appears online will also be in the paper bulletin, which is delivered to those who do not use electronic media. In addition, in this week's bulletin or online, you will find an invitation from Yvette to join her in reading the Bible in a year. This won't mean setting up a year's worth of meetings. Rather, it's a scheme to encourage and support people in engaging with Scripture, and I highly recommend it. We're also considering introducing streamed versions of Compline and midday prayer, so watch this space. Lent begins on the 17th of February, and it will be sad not to gather in church for Ash Wednesday. But having already not celebrated Easter and Pentecost, it perhaps rounds off what has been a very strange year. And we will look for a creative way of marking the start of Lent. Let us hope that by the Feast of the Annunciation, the 25th of March, which will be exactly a year since the first lockdown was announced, we might be able to be back in church again for public worship. Meanwhile, funerals can still take place in church and weddings in exceptional circumstances. We can also open the church for individuals by prior arrangement, if perhaps you wish to come and pray in church on a particular occasion, say the anniversary of a loved one or some other intention. Please contact either myself or Yvette, and we will be glad to help you. We're also maintaining our network of pastoral contacts, so if you become aware of anyone whose spiritual life is being affected by the decision not to open for public worship, including yourself, please don't hesitate to contact us. This weekend in our worship, we mark the baptism of Christ, an opportunity to give thanks for our own baptism, that moment when God called us to be his adopted children. The act of baptism, immersing a person in water, is a symbol of new life rising through the waters of death into the resurrection life, which is life without the fear of death. This life is for living in the here and now. And it is for this reason that I myself offered for ordination so many years ago. The life of the church is to do all that we can in worship, in our life together, and in our service of the wider community to make that way of life real, to put flesh on the idea, which is exactly what God did when he became human in the baby at Bethlehem. This means that whatever happens, my life is a share and an expression of the divine reality at the heart of all things, and it is a special joy to live in that knowledge. I hope that joy might be yours too.